With the releases of games like the Saints Row reboot, we've all wondered how politically correct Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to be because we know that Rockstar had cleaned up their ranks and the way that their company was ran and how developers were treated across their studios. And now we're hearing reports saying GTA 6 will be less crude towards transgender people and minorities. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, Grand Theft Auto has made its name on degeneracy and making fun of everybody, and that shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes games are not meant to be politically correct, and that's what made GTA so popular in the first place. But it seems that they might have taken their internal cleaning up a little bit too seriously, because now we're being told that it is going to be less crude. So, it says reputed video game journalist Jason Schreier has just reported an intriguing bit of information about GTA 6 in his latest article for Bloomberg. Now, I do not like Jason Schreier. I think he's one of the worst people within the video game industry. He is a serial opportunist. He withholds information to try to profit from it later on. Like, he knew what was going on at Blizzard, but he decided to hold that information for years so he could make money from selling a book, which is absolutely fucking disgusting. If you really care about the safety of people in the video game industry, you would have released that information sooner, but he didn't. Though, we heard a similar report just a few weeks ago by Endymion. He said that GTA 6 was going woke, that GTA 6 was going to be toned down, and he didn't really have like a ton of specific points, but it's basically the same exact thing that now Jason Schreier is parroting. So according to him, Rockstar Games asked its writers to be less crude towards transgender people and other minorities in the upcoming title. Bloomberg News has reported that GTA 6 will star a pair of playable characters, a man and a woman, inspired by Bonnie and Clyde, and that Rockstar is asking its writers to be less crude towards transgender people and other minorities, the common targets of throwaway gags in previous versions, which is going to be utter insanity. It is supposed to be edgy. It's supposed to be risky. It was never supposed to be safe. And if you can't handle the content of the game, don't play the game. That's all you can really say about a title this big. It reminds me of the Saints Row reboot back in 2022 because it was so politically correct. You had like this cast of characters who were only committing crimes to pay off student debt. They argued about what toasters they were going to buy. It was basically a cast of characters who you would find at a Starbucks drinking soy lattes. It was the cringiest game of the past couple of years, at least in my opinion, very similar to something like Dustborn, which is not a game you want to be compared to. And it was just an absolutely pathetic situation all around because Saints Row was known for being GTA's little bro. And that's just not the direction they took that game in. And when it comes to GTA 6, I don't think that it's going to be completely politically correct. I do not see a way that they could spend billions and billions of dollars to try to kind of reframe the image of this franchise, but I do believe on one hand that it's too big to fail, right? If this game comes out and it's mechanically sound, it's not buggy and broken, it's not missing content, I don't think it's going to have a problem selling because I think the overall themes are still going to be pretty edgy, but you are most likely, yes, going to notice that throughout the game, there's not going to be as many jokes and throwaway gags aimed towards transgender people and other minorities, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. In a game like this, everybody should be able to be targeted no matter what their sexuality is or gender is or whatever. Like, again, we're talking about a game that is supposed to be edgy and anybody could be the target of any kind of violence or crime. And now this is going to worry a lot of people. Now, I do think that it's obviously going to make billions and billions of dollars, and it's still most likely going to be a smashing commercial success. But hearing these things is not good. It's not something you want to hear when we're talking about the next major release. And Jason Schreier also did put out a lot of other information. Like, there's no mention of a release date change, so hopefully it is still on track for fall 2025. The game has missed multiple deadlines so far. They have said that this is, of course, their most expansive game yet. And it's not shocking that they did miss deadlines, at least some of them, but it seems like it really got away from the developers. That's probably also why it's cost, at this point in time, $1.5 billion to develop. It says, though, GTA 6 has been in development for a decade, but only really entered full production after Red Dead Redemption 2 released in 2018. It will be less crude towards transgenders and other minorities. Game publishers are waiting to commit to release dates for their games, given the astronomical hype for GTA 6. At this point, moving games has become such a normal thing that they should just put out their release dates, and if GTA 6's release date is announced, they should just move their game's date. I mean, at this point, there's nothing that they can do because it's clear they're not going to release a release date. But a lot of people are, of course, now talking about this, how ridiculous this situation is. How does this even work? Is it going to be more family friendly? We're talking about a game for adults here. You'd think they wouldn't be worried about toning down certain pieces of content, and they'd simply worry about making content that people actually want to play. And we don't know how intense this kind of censorship is going to be, but we're hearing multiple reports from multiple different people now that this is the direction they're heading in. We just want trailer 2. Oh, it's getting delayed. It's so delayed. Yeah, I don't think that it's going to come out in 2025. I think it's going to come out in 2026. And I think that we are going to see a battle of the two biggest games ever created, because I think we are going to see Elder Scrolls 6 right around that time. I'm thinking in the spring of 2027, and they'll be close enough in release dates that they are going to be, neck and neck for sales, most likely. So yeah, I'm convinced GTA 6 is going to be Rockstar's Winds of Winter. There's too much money that's been put into this game for it to go unreleased. That's certainly not going to happen, but I don't think that it's going to, again, come out in 2025. That's been my stance. That will be my stance. And at this point, it's just such a worrying thing to hear that there are so many changes being made internally, because I want this game to come out. I want it to be amazing. I want the game that we've all been waiting for such a long time at this point. But multiple reports are now swirling the internet saying that it's going to be toned down. And I don't really think that Rockstar can really quell these worries, I guess I should say, unless they actually come out and make a statement on it, and I don't think they are going to. I think that they are really not going to address any of the rumors surrounding this game. They're not going to make a statement about Jason Schreier's report. They're going to stay silent, because I do think that internally they probably are freaking out over their missed deadlines. But yeah, I mean, now we're hearing that it's going to be, reportedly at least, less crude towards transgender people. And while I do think that this game is too big to fail, I do think that Rockstar is now going to face a lot of scrutiny, especially leading up to release, whenever that is. Apparently it's coming in 2025. I'm still pressing X to doubt. Only time will tell. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.